Atlas Brew number 10. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. And the main topic for today is ships. So we are going to do, as always, some crazy theory crafting, as we always do, with the ships and different theories that Jose, as always, is going to bring for us. And we actually may have like a surprise guest. I don't know, probably, maybe. We don't know yet.
Hmm.
Maybe, maybe. But yeah, we're going to theory craft about ships and give like a. We can start with actually before going into ships. There is something cool that went out from the Star Atlas side today, which is the podcast. What do you think, Jose, man?
Man, man, I was so stoked to learn that we were releasing this info today because this podcast is going to be awesome. Santi, I guess the link and post it in the brew because I think that
Yes.
most of the community didn't saw this.
Yeah.
But what's happening, guys, is that Star Atlas is producing its own podcast. Now, really interesting partnership with audios. Let me get just the the
Just
article
posted
here.
the link.
But yeah, as we said, the world of Star Atlas is starting to grow. This is something that we have been hinting for a while now to you guys, that we are shifting gears here in Star Atlas. And this is just the first step on this direction. In the following weeks, we will find uh audio. I said audios, but it's audio.
Audio app.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the car company. Yeah. So what they are doing is that we are doing a podcast series with them, and it's going to be, of course, in our metaverse. And we have the outlines of the story that was already disclosed. Is that we have a news tour. Someone who was a bounty hunter, and he was wrongly convicted for murder, and he's taken to a prison, a very special prison called Moon 6, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't find the article here, Santi, but if memory serves me well, that's the main team. And this is
Station 6. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, you're right.
Station 6. Awesome. So yes, this is the background of this plot, and I have heard some things about it, and it's very interesting because in big MMOs like the universe of Star Atlas, those small things, like the world building, the relationships between the so-called criminals in the world of Star Atlas, this is something very, very exciting to explore. And the guys from audio are highly qualified, and our guys are as well. As you guys know, we have Matt Madney as our head writer, and just answering some of the questions that were popping in the chat today. Yes, he's involved for sure. Everything that happens lore wise here in Star Atlas has Matt's hand on it, directly and indirectly. So yeah, you guys can you guys can be hyped because this is going to be very, very interesting. I think those are 8 episodes, and the cool thing is that it might have some other implications besides lore
Oh.
storytelling. Yeah, yeah. You guys know how weak I am, so I'm here paying very, very close attention to what I'm saying. But everything is on the article that you guys gonna read. I don't know if we published it on the Atlas Brew chat yet, but there will be lots of gifts and surprises for our community that follows closely this podcast event. So yeah, maybe we'll see some interactions between what's happening in the podcast and the Star Atlas game. Who is to say, right? Who is to say? The thing is, it's very interesting. We are very excited to share this with you guys. And this is actually just the beginning, guys. We have a lot brewing for you guys in terms of partnerships. We were working the whole day, right, Santi, in some of those
Oh yeah.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
We are tired but excited, man. We are really, really excited for what's to come in the following weeks. We'll start shifting gears. And yeah, I think this is about what we can share about this
Yeah.
podcast. Right,
This is
Santi?
not the only thing that's coming to the Star Atlas community. We are just teasing here, but yeah,
Yeah.
we still have no dates for the because we know that you guys will ask for this, but there are no clear dates yet on when the podcast is going to be released. But we just love that we will have a new form of engaging with the Star Atlas metaverse, and I think that listening to a podcast about lore and telling a story is, in my opinion, I love it, and I'm happy that the Stratless team thought about this. To be honest, so yeah, shout out to the team as always.
Yeah,
But
shout
yeah,
out
there
to
are
them.
more things coming. We have some things in the pipeline. We will when we have the things approved to share. You know, guys, you're getting them in the brew. So
Yeah,
yeah, more to come soon. More to come soon.
yeah, absolutely. You can be certain this is a certainty that this is only the first partnership, the huge partnerships that we are doing here in Star Atlas.
Oh yeah,
So, without further ado, let's start our reflection of today. As you guys know, what we do here in the Brew is theory craft. And when Santi and I are on the Brew, we are speaking as passionate community members who loves to theory craft about the game. You know, we are involved in our daily tasks, but Santi and I always try to, discuss stuff, keep up with the launches and things that are going on in the various teams of Star Atlas. And the ships, from what I could gather, is one of the, yeah, obviously it's one of the cornerstones, it's one of the foundations of Star Atlas in every manner. And the most obvious manner that this happens is that we'll need ships to play. But this also, by itself, starts a very interesting conversation because in Star Atlas, ships are tied to careers in game. We have all those different classes of ships. We have all those different manufacturers. We have different sizes. So there are lots of variables in play here. And everything that the Star Atlas team does, every choice, every kind of ship, it's meant to shine in some way or another. So some ships will shine for being low cost, and some ships will shine by being the most efficient to do a given task. This doesn't mean, for example, that a fighter ship will be the best fighter ship for every situation. You know, this is something that I would like to start this conversation with because this is also why we are launching so many ships to accommodate the community to our plan of um, bringing aboard 1 million players by the end of the year. What we are doing now is launching those ships. We have many, many ships coming from us because we want to give you guys the most broad possibilities of gameplay here. What we want to do is to bring out those ships to let you guys compare them, see what they are doing, learn about what each manufacturer does, their focus, their ideas, their concepts, and to start building a strategy and to welcome the players that are joining our system. Because right now what we are doing is building the foundations. And the ships as well, they are very important for score. Of course, we are providing you guys with the ability to generate income through the ships, but our next steps will take the ship gameplay to a new height. But it's something for another time. Let us start our conversation by addressing some interesting categories of the ships. As you guys know, every ship has some unique traits. They all belong to a model, a maker, sorry, like Opal, like Ogrica, like Pierce, and those already have some distinctions and some focuses. Santi, if you could drop the manufacturer sheet on the Atlas Brew
yeah, man.
channel. This is
course.
something that we need to remind real quick before we go deeper into our conversation.
Yep. I'm sending it now. One sec.
Let's just wait for Santi so we can all stay on the same page regarding the different ships manufacturers and the reflections that we are doing. So
Yep. There you
we
go.
have we have many manufacturers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 manufacturers that are known to this date, and all of them have different focuses and different alignments. This is something that's really important in terms of our gameplay. As of now, every single one of us is able to acquire any ship from any manufacturer. But as we go into the Star Atlas metaverse, as when the gameplay actually starts, this dynamic will change. So someone's trying to get my alpha Santi on the chat, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
won't deny or confirm anything. So
Hmm.
so what's important here and that I wanted to talk about is that this dynamic will change. So what we are doing right now is building our starters fleets. And you guys have a huge advantage at this point on time on being able to acquire ships from different manufacturers with different properties at this given time, because, well, if you look at this sheet, you'll see that some of the manufacturers by nature are harder to acquire, uh, ships from Jorvik, Ecos, Tufa, and Fotoli, they require a certain kind of crafting skill. Something that will take in-game time, assets, and alignments to acquire. This is especially important here in Star Atlas because, as you guys know, we have some guideline principles that northens everything that happens in the game. We have specialization as a feature in Star Atlas, as a feature. Uh, which means that when we go into one faction, crafting tree, when we are aligned with a certain faction, we will of course be able to acquire those ships in an easier manner, but this also means that it's going to be harder to acquire ships from a different manufacturer and from different alignments. And as of now, we every faction is at peace. We lives under the protection of the Treaty of Peace in Star Atlas. So we will be able to buy them. But I ask you this: what's gonna happen if someday there is no longer a Treaty of Peace? How you acquire ships from different manufacturers? This will have
Ooh.
implications in our gameplay.
I like the
And
theory crafting, man. It's
you like
starting.
the theory?
It's start. Yeah,
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 man. This is the kind of thing that I like to bring for the Atlas Brew people.
yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah.
the
We are.
kind of reasoning.
You're just telling us, and then you drop a bomb like that. Like what could happen if? I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And we need to take these considerations into the game, guys. Something that I always loved saying, even before I joined the Star Atlas team, is that everything here is a calculated move, you know? And there are many, many ways of giving you guys or early adopters or early community members advantages without doing things like giving money and this kind of thing. So if we do some theory crafting, this is just the beginning, of our night here. But if we start to think in the long term, there are actually very, very interesting advantages of acquiring ships and to learn how the world of Star Atlas works. Because, guys, ships, polis, atlas, those are things that are means to acquire objectives. They are not ends on themselves. And once we start understanding this, we can craft and do some cool stuff inside the Star Atlas game. Well, so let's go for a quick recap on each company focuses, if we may say it like that. So we have the three principal ones. We have Pierce, Busan, and Visus. And Pierce, which is aligned to the Mud faction, is the one that's, it's the military class tech faction. This is something that for the fighters, for people who likes combat, they will most likely enjoy and align themselves with Pierce because they are focused on this. And being focused on this means that their ships actually covers a lot in terms of military class technology. This is my perception. You see, I'm not in the game design team, but knowing that they all have all kinds of they do all kinds of theory crafts like the ones that we are doing here right now. I know, or I do hope so, that the different ships in the Pierce company they'll be ready for war. And when we are thinking about guilds, about decks that we need a variety of ships for a variety of stuff that we want to do in the game, it's important for everyone to have some Pierce ships on their holster. Well, uh, at the second moment, guys. Oh,
Jose,
sorry.
I love listening to you talk, dude. This is so
Yeah.
soothing, man.
Oh man, look at who joined the fray. It's
Oh
Lord
my
Sheep.
gosh.
How you doing, friend?
I'm good. I'm good. I thought I'd pop in. I haven't been to one of these in a while.
Oh
Last time
man.
I was here, I was having tea with the pirates. Remember we were sharing
A
a
very enjoyable day indeed.
yeah, a
Yeah.
campfire. It was a good time. So I thought I'd pop in for a little bit and see how you guys are doing.
Oh man, it's so good that you are here, man, because yeah, I think that this is a topic that you like as well, don't you, Sheep?
Yeah, I've spent about 8 hours today working ship performance numbers. So my brain's a little mushy. I apologize in advance, but
Yeah.
numbers associated with how ships perform in combat, how they perform in all sorts of other functions, freighting, cargo, everything. I've been working those numbers today.
Oh man.
And it's looking good, man. I'm super excited for Scream. So yeah, I feel like we could
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, the hype is real.
yeah, without obviously, I'm not coming here to leak what Scream is, but I can say that the design's looking pretty solid, and the prototypes are coming along really well, and I'm really excited. So now we're kind of testing our numbers out and trying to balance it and do some testing.
Oh
Cool,
man,
man.
this is awesome. What Chip said was something that I would like to highlight here, because what we are doing here in Star Atlas is more than randomly drop ships and factories, manufacturers, alignments, components, modules. Everything is accounted for. Like those guys, Sheep spends his whole day creating those logics and balancing stuff and finding the right ratio between ship's prices, ship's capabilities, ship's diversity, the different logics of combat, which is something that maybe I don't know, Ship, if we can talk about this, maybe superficially, conceptually. It's up to you, bro. But yeah, man.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna avoid combat because it's a really, really sensitive topic. But I
Yeah.
can say that so for score, the numbers associated with R4 consumptions were kind of coarse, is the word I like to use. They weren't. They were really highly correlated with VWAP or the price of the ship. But now we're revising numbers. Um, and not to scare anybody, but we're revising numbers to make more sense. So like your food is going to be directly tied to how many like food consumption is tied to how many crew your ship slots, right? Obviously, if you have more crew, you can perform better, but you'll also be spending more food to support that crew. So just trying to
Whoa.
add a little bit more fidelity to everything, make it all make more sense, and just have a more polished product going into screen.
Man, this is awesome. This kind of trade off is that what I'm talking about. And these guys, this notion of trade off, it's something that you must understand here in Star Atlas. Because everything that you're going to do in this game requires a tough choice. This is very important because, well, so this is how life works, you know. It's like everything that we do in our lives, they have consequences. And Star Atlas should be an enjoyable game, which is the main thing that we need to do to make this a successful game. It requires a degree of challenge, a degree of strategy, a degree of reasoning, of coordination between guild members of different areas, different gameplay styles, different logics, different backgrounds. And what we're doing today in the Brew is like scratching very slowly the surface of an ocean, you know? Like every single thing that we are going to talk here, my objective here is to bring awareness, you know? I want to spark in you guys the things that I think about, the things that Santi and I discuss, the thing that we look forward inside our game, and to start theory crafting and start to thinking deeper because you guys are our guys in the Brew, you know. We value you guys so much. We love having you here. You guys are the most present community members, and this is a way that we can help you out, you know, in a fair way. It's to discuss the game and to use your passion as something that can improve your gameplay overall and help you guys use your assets and coordinate your guilds better. Yeah. Okay, sorry for the sidestep, but let's come back to the ship manufacturers. So we have Pierce, who has this focus, and I believe that is the most focused manufacturer in war in terms of military. So this is a must-have for guilds that have plans on using force in general. And we have a very different logic and very interesting one as well in the Oni faction, you know, and it comes as a stealth class dominant tech manufacturer. This means that stealth is something that will play a huge role in Star Atlas. And as you guys can see, this is one of the main manufacturers and he's focused on stealth. So stealth and stealth mechanics is something that everyone should be aware about once they start to build their fleets, which means that some missions and some logics of combat will revolve around stealth, which entails that we have interesting game mechanics, we have interesting ways of engaging with stealth. Most of our players, or a good amount of them, want to play bounty hunting class, which is a class that needs to capture people, mostly without them knowing. It's better if they don't know that we are coming for them, right?
Yeah,
So a
man.
good amount of Santi is the man, you know, he's famous bounty hunters in the Star Atlas universe, and he's aware about this. And having one manufacturer that's focused on this particular topic, well, this brings a lot of information that's unspoken, but it's there for the eyes who can see. And then we have Ustur. And Ustur is like equilibrium, it's like balance, you know. This also goes really well with Ustur natural characteristics. As you guys know, they have a reinforcement in the hull, and they also have this equilibrium, this balance on their production. They have both military and stealth class techs on their main stuff, which means that Ustur is a good strategy for guilds that want to expand in more than one front, you know, to have more diversity on their fleets. This is something really important, guys, because Star Atlas combat won't be something trivial in the way that, oh, you have the biggest ship and you always win the fight, or maybe if you have both the same class of ship, the same size of ship, but the one with the highest price will always win. No. We want combat, as every other feature in the game, to be interesting, enjoyable, something that makes sense so that the skills of the players can actually be used and be meaningful in the game. That's why we have a skill progression system through the skill tree system that we are developing, and that's why we have all those different ships, because the ships will fight differently, which means that they will have different strategies in order to win combats and stuff like that. Okay, so then we have Calico, Ogrica, and Opal. Calico, Greek, and Opal, they are generalist manufacturers, which means that they are there in the game. Aside from plot reasons, aside from lore reasons, they are there to make the game more stable, to give access to different factions, to different gameplay styles. But each one of them is also one manufacturer, and they have their own characteristics. They'll have their own good sides, they'll have their own bad sides, and every single one of them will play a role in the game. As I was saying, we want every single ship to excel in one given task, in one function, so that you guys think that there's a reason for it to be there. Something that I hated in some games is that people would create those items that were useless, those classes that were so boring that no one wanted to play. This is something that we, as in Star Atlas, as gamers, as people who love playing, who love enjoy uh, playing games in general, we want to avoid. We'll be constantly looking for it and trying to think of ways of making everything interesting its own way. Then we have Thimble. It's faction agnostic, budget materials, and civilian dominant tech. And this is actually very interesting faction inside Star Atlas. I have great plans for it in terms of lore when we get to the point that they are presented. But yeah, those guys, they will be very important for the economy of the game, in my vision at last. Because from the ships that I saw, they have lots of interesting ones, like the Pack Light, which is great for fighting. He has a great, as Ship said, the ships have different scores in different areas, and I think that we'll see a good relationship. This is just intuitive. I didn't saw Ship's number or anything like that, but I like this logic of budget materials crafter that will allow players to enjoy and play different tiers of gameplay. And yeah, I like this a lot. We also have
Yeah,
Armstrong.
I want
Sorry,
to
Ship.
step in here for a
Please
second.
jump in.
It's kind of a source of confusion sometimes with people. Like Thimble as a manufacturer, so think the Air Bike and the Lobi are distinctly different from Thimble, BYOS, and Ecos. So Thimble BYOS is like is 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 a Jorvik or a pirate specific variant of Thimble manufacturing techniques. And so that's why you add the BYOS or build your own ship acronym after it. And then Thimble Ecos is the same thing, but for the eco radicalists, the Ecos faction. So they're very separate. Thimble by itself is the budget or the civilian tech, the base tech manufacturer across that's faction agnostic, and it's probably one of the more versatile manufacturers as well.
Awesome. And yeah, this is very interesting because we have Thimble BIOS, and we have Thimble Echoes, and each one of them has a different logic, right? And I think that in the future, well, there is a reason for this ramification. So this is something that I want you to explore in the future. But yeah, we can talk about this at this moment. So let's proceed on Armstrong Industries. This is something really interesting because Armstrong has actually a monopoly in specialized mining equipment. And this is something that I find really fun here in Star Atlas. You guys weren't presented to any ships from the Armstrong manufacturer yet, but yeah, mining is a great. One thing that's important for us to remember here is that ships and careers, as I said in the beginning, they are very tied. Like they influence each other a lot. So we'll see lots of players going together with Armstrong because of the specialization in mining equipment and stuff like that. So I think that this will be a very distinct and unique career path, in Star Atlas. The one of mining equipment. I'm sure that the guys are developing lots of cool and interesting stuff on that front. So yeah, I'm excited to learn more about what's going on with Armstrong. And then, guys, we go to the different tier of rarity ships, the ones that require loyalty alignment between factions. And in Brazil, there is a saying that it says, para cada escolha uma renúncia. That
Oh,
would that would translate as for each choice a renounce. Like when you make a choice in Star Atlas, it also means that you are closing other doors. You know, you are going through this door and you are closing the other ones. And this is somewhat the logic that I think that's going on. Here is purely my theory crafting in terms of crafting in regarding the rainbow, Thimble Echoes, and Thimble Bios and Tufa. You know, those classes they have different logics of production, and this is an element that has implications in all sides of Star Atlas, from lore point of view to gameplay points of view. You know, Jovic, starting by the Photolis, they are the high risk zone exotic materials faction. You know, in essence, they are the most mysterious race in Star Atlas. They have those huge requirements from what we can infer from this, and we actually don't know the logics of the Photoli. It's like something so exotic that it doesn't follow, in my vision at least, how humans perceive reality. So what I think that the Rainbow manufacturer is doing is constructing very different logics of gameplay, which doesn't actually translate as a higher firepower or things like that. But I think that the Rainbow and Photolo will focuses on effects and different logics, you know. Like from what we saw in the Rainbow arc, you know, with this drawing that they have of the rule going out of the ship and starting to protect the ship while it's flying, you know, those kind of interesting things, you know, and this versatility, this different logic, this is something that can be really well explored for professional players, for people who are focused on Star Atlas, you know, because you get your opponent out of guard, you know, you can create situations where the logics of normal combat won't apply. This is something that I always think about when I see Fotoli and things like that. Then we have Jovic, another high risk zone faction, medium risk zone, high risk zone faction, and I love Jovic because Jovic has such a disruptive logic. You know, they are by nature outside of the Council of Peace. They have their own logics, and they are the pirates of the Star Atlas universe in some manner. But yeah, this is something that we have been talking about here in the Brew, that we don't name the factions good or evil. They just have different logics, they have different agendas, and this is the case for Jarvik. You know, they have a reason to be how they are, and their main focus is on contraband of military class tech. You know, so you can expect those ships that will be heavily focused on combat as well, maybe following a different logic from Pierce, as I see Pierce as something more formal and tactical combat. And I don't know about Jarvik. I think Jarvik is more about chaos and stuff like that. This is my impression at last at this point. Again, everything that we are doing here is theory crafting. And then we have Echoes and Tufa. And man, Echoes has this cool feature of terraforming planets while they attack. And we see lots of artillery in Echoes, right? You see, we have the Una Bomba, we have the Bombarella, we have the Grenadier, we have the... oh man, so glad I started talking. Okay, we have we have lots of cool stuff here going on Echoes. And we learned in the Gal brochure too that Echoes is launching a Titan ship of their own. You guys saw this on the lore. So yeah, man. What are those guys of Echoes doing in deep space, you know? Like they have this Titan class ship under construction. And you guys know that when a Titan ship rises, we talked about this on the Brew a few weeks ago with Pablo. When a Titan rises, things change. And this happened before in the piece of treaty assignment when they built when the only there is so much going on in the background. I can talk about this, but this is cool. And then we have Tufa, guys. Tufa is such a mysterious race. It appeared for the first time in our lore in the last report, and unfortunately, this character in particular, Brigida, it even has a human-like name. It's due to her past. You know, she's not your typical Tufa character. You guys will learn more about the Tufa civilization as we go on in the lore, as we go on inside the characteristics of each civilization. But yeah, Tufa also has its own logic, you know. And Tufa, from my point of view, will have a logic that comes closer to its nature. You know, they are different beings. Their ships are different by nature. It's some kind of a mix between sentient beings and wings. I don't know. This is purely theory crafting at this point, but I'm sure that we'll see lots of cool stuff coming from them as well.
Yeah, man, we have some things prepared, you know?
Yes, Santi, I know for sure that you do. So, guys, having said that, one other thing that I would like to remind you guys is that aside from a big variety of ships, which entails like different strategies and strategies that will also change when taken to fleets composite of different types of ships, we also have modules, things that will be able to be changed from a ship to another in order to add another element of chaos, another element of customization on the ships, you know. And this is something really interesting because, well, if you can, for example, add those modules that comes with the Photoli or some technology from other civilizations, you can change the way of your fleet battle. You know, some, for example, the artilleries that we find in Echoes, we can combo those with the technology of Pierce, and there are endless possibilities. And this only talking about combat, but ships are bigger than combat. You know, we have ships in order to do like most of the in-game professions and careers in Star Atlas. So you can actually customize your ships to help you doing different careers, different tasks, and surprise your enemies. And this is one of the most beautiful things that I love about Star Atlas is that we want to build the tools and let you guys do the thing, you know? Like you guys will come up with all those kind of crazy strategies. You guys will come up with all those mix of manufacturers and ship metas, you know? And we have there's another layer of complexity that the different ships have different modes, you know, like we have siege modes, we have close quarter combat modes, we have ships that focus on long range combat, ships who focus on the short range combat. And these guys, this will make the experience of playing Star Atlas really really exciting, you know. Like there is no formula that will work against every fleet. There is no like sure win strategy in Star Atlas. Everything is designed to be used in a context. You know, everything is designed to be used in depending on the battlefield, depending on the defenses and the attacker group, in the situation where you are located, the planet. You know, this makes the game exciting in terms of combat, and this will make Star Atlas a huge success. And that's why we can't rush things, because ship is and the game design team, they are like every single day testing stuff, creating models, balancing stuff, because we are talking about the future of Star Atlas here. You know, we need to, of course, we won't be perfect, no human is, and we won't get everything right at the first launch of the game, but we want to get the closest that we can to that point. And this is in the various projects, you know. It's not only on Scream, it's not on the showroom, it's not only in the DAO, it's on the lore, it's on the podcast, it's on the various partnerships that we are doing, you know. So yes, guys.
You know, man, something that you touched on a little bit that I'm really interested in what I see now in the guilds and the way like how a guild can actually like have different ships in their fleet. And as you said, like the combat in Star Atlas is probably going to be not related to who has the biggest ship, but like who can use like your teammates and the ships better, you know?
Absolutely.
Like we already see guilds organizing themselves and practicing in different games just to know each other on for when in Star Atlas there is combat, they already know how to organize themselves, you know? I
Yeah,
feel like that's something super, super interesting. And yeah, it's something that it's going to be important in my opinion. Like to know your crew, to know with who you are flying in deep space. That's something like probably more important for entering combat than just having the biggest ship. That's my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, for sure, Santi. And you know, everything seems so far away, but we don't know, guys. Star Atlas is building every day, you know, and the game has already started. You know, you guys know that. You guys have guilds. We see those giant guild Star Atlas. They are all producing content, and the things are starting to change. We are changing the shifting the gear here. You know, we have started with this publication of today about our partnership. And in the following weeks, you guys will see many things happening. This is what we can say right now, you know. But yeah, we are entering a new stage of the project. We are all very excited for it. And yeah, I guess it's time we can let the community talk a little bit, right, Santa? I think I
Yeah,
spoke too
man.
much.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah. I love
Sorry,
you,
I
man.
just get excited. And yeah, I
I
start
did not
talking.
know I couldn't
You're
talk.
one of a kind, Jose, man. You're one of a kind.
Sorry, bro.
We love you, man. Why are you saying sorry? Like, no, man. We really enjoy listening to you and your theories, and I think I speak for everyone that we really appreciate it, man. For real, for real. Bohemian, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I did not know I couldn't talk. I'm sorry, I apologize. I think I tried to talk before, but what I'm hearing is that Star Atlas is has adopted the a open book grand strategy model in which just having the biggest guns, okay, does not mean a automatic win. It requires grand strategy and tactical maneuvering between small groups working together, that can bring down much more powerful uh, fleets or spaceships if you do it right. Strategy is being allowed to play a big role in this, just like in real life. We've seen it, 300, taking down, hundreds of thousands. So it is possible if you use the right strategies, and that is very important. I love it that you guys have embraced the grand strategy model and take it down all the way to the tactical small groups. I love it. I love that. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
always, like something that you need to know is that we are theory crafting here. Of course, there's a lot of information needed, especially right now in terms of combat. But for what we see in different games and how they are related, like the space-themed games, you actually see how different guilds and people are organizing to conquer in those games. That's why we mentioned that you probably yeah, if you have the biggest ship but you don't know how to use it and how to fight together with your teammates, I'm not sure if you're going to win. That's something really interesting.
yeah, man. Yeah, and you see that the different ships they have different modes and different specializations. There's a reason for this, you know. It's to make the game interesting, to make the game realistic. And of course, this is only my vision. We don't have the details about this going at the moment, but everything that we do here in Star Atlas has a reason to, you know. And unfortunately, it's not the moment to go into those details. But one day we'll be here in the Brew, and we'll be talking real strategy with you guys, you know. And this is going to be a really funny day because we'll be here theory crafting all kinds of different weapons use, of ships configurations, of fleet configurations, and I expect to see some high level combat, you know? I expect to see lots of crazy stuff coming from you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I have a
You-
question for the community if you guys want to answer it. Like, I would like to know which ship, guys, you right now, the ships that we see, which one you think that it's going to be the most OP one for what you see right now? Don't be shy, answer it.
OP in a fight or OP to doing its purpose? Because I love the arc.
Okay,
one
yeah, yeah,
I'm
you
in,
can keep
that's
it
gonna be the
in
OP one.
which one?
The one I'm in, that's gonna be the overpowered one.
I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
You guys are giving so much leaks, and you guys don't understand. For all those that play grand strategy games, you just told me everything about Star Atlas. I understand every single detail that's gonna come out just based on the comments.
I
You know,
love the confidence, man.
everyone here that plays war games for more than 6 months understand exactly where you're going with this, because those are the kind of games I eat, I breathe. You know, I play every single day. You know, every single top game that embraces those strategies, I have played them. You know, and I still practice. So
Okay, man.
thank you very
I
much.
love the confidence. I love the confidence, man.
Yeah,
I
I
really
love
like.
this. I love this, you know, and I want to see this in action. This is the future of Star Atlas, you know. But yeah,
Yeah. Somebody mentioned the arc actually. Why do you think that the arc is going to be an OP one? Like it doesn't matter if it's like an OP on any front. Like why do you think it's a great ship? Pitch your ships. Sell me your ships. That's what you gotta do right now.
Well, the point is that it's got to be able to do its job and get you your money back. I think it's faster. I think it's slipperier. I think it's harder to kill. I think it transports more valuable cargo. I just think it does what it does better than any ship so far. It's a unified thought going forward.
Cool. That's a good opinion. That's a good opinion. I
Yeah,
like it.
it is teamwork, right? Because one chip cannot work at its full functionality without support, and it's going to require a lot of teamwork. Star Atlas is teamwork. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So Bohemian, do you have like
yeah.
do you
for
have
sure.
experience in which other games you have experience, man? You told us that you have a lot of experience and that the ship that is going to
Yes,
be the most OP is yours, the one that you are in.
yes,
Tell me,
yes.
man. Why should
So,
I recruit you for my secret guild?
recruit me. Hold on. Recruit me. Okay, we can be allies. How's that? We can be allies. Taking down a
Okay.
Titan. Taking down a Titan. Hearts of Iron, Stellaris, Endless Space. You know, all the Total War series, all of them, and just about everything that is grand strategy. I play it. Some like very customized games that probably nobody knows. Historical recreation simulations, the real time strategy, those kind of games. Just about
You
every single one of them.
so you were part of guilds in those games, or you play with people and like right,
Most
correct?
of the time, I play solo.
Oh, you play solo? Okay.
Most of the time, because I don't want anybody to learn my strategies.
Okay. Man.
Oh man, Bohemian's hardcore, man.
Oh yeah, and I play Iron mode all the time. No changes. You know, especially now in preparation for Star Atlas. You know, yes, I have to play Iron mode every single time. Whatever mistake stays, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
friend. And it's
Yeah.
cool to see that the community has this kind of background because they will be important for sure, you know. What you said about community gameplay is the foundation stone of Star Atlas, you know. Everything that we are designing, every mechanic, every stuff, is to make this universe something that you can collaborate with people, like for the end game achievements, for the end game objectives. No one is going to be able to do this alone, you know. No one's going to be able to pull an army that will wipe out the galaxy by itself, you know. And having this notion at this point of time is important. It's important to make your guild understand, your teammates understand that you guys need to work together, you know. And talking about specifics on ships here, you guys need to understand your fleets because, as I said,
Yes.
this is going to be very important in the future. I recommend you guys. I can't recommend you guys anything. I was going to talk as a community member. I can't recommend stuff, but there is huge opportunities in terms of what we can do right now against how things will work on the game. On the game we'll have political concerns in terms of the manufacturers. We'll have to acquire the games in goods, so you need logistics. You need lots of things that doesn't exist right now. So yeah, I think this is pretty much what I wanted to say about Chip Santi.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I know actually something else. It's that we do have some really experienced people like in games like EVE Online, Star Citizen, and all those games. So if someone wants to share like their experience on how important is to manage correctly like your team and fleet in order to win a fight, I would love to hear the opinions if anyone here wants to share it. If anyone was part of a guild who was involved like in combat and things like that. I know we have a few. Or even how you plan to do it in the Star Atlas. In Star Atlas. Anyone
Santi,
is
you want the
shy.
guys to share their
Yeah, their
strategies,
strategies. Yeah.
Everyone is very aware of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
They don't want to say it.
You can
No
hear
one
me
is
guys.
telling me. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, yes, Santi. Hey, Mr. Nuts. Hope
Hey,
everyone's
Gum.
having a good time. Yeah, I haven't played even online, but I did play World of Warcraft, and as everyone might know, we had guilds back then in World of Warcraft, and we did actually do raids. Like we would gather 100 people, 200 people, and attacking on enemies' capitals. So we didn't have a ship. We didn't had this much trades on the ship.
Mm-hmm. Did we
Like
lose?
especially the
Okay.
leaders. Yeah, especially the leaders and the ones that have different flanks of the war. The forward, the left, the right. There should be a very, very good and old communication between the people are involved in the raid because when you get into these kind of fights, it's not about the talent or how good it's about how well you had this experience along with five more other people from your guild. For
Absolutely.
example, if I'm a like Vizus Ampe and I'm like along with another peers from my guild members or something like that, if I know exactly how this ship function, how's the behavior of the cockpit and the pilots, that would be a game changer in these kind of fights. So I don't think people are ready for this and stuff. They don't know the importance of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you touched some really interesting points. And there is something very important here in Star Atlas that everyone needs to be aware about in terms of war. It's that troops takes time to go from one side of the space to another. And this has all kinds of implications. You can actually win a war if you can, for example, blocks a supply road from one of the guilds. You know, there's a reason why you have ships like the R8, which their only focus is resupplying other ships and taking full through the galaxy, you know. This kind of macro gameplay, the macro gameplay that uses the environment, that uses the supply road, that uses the different warping speeds of each of the different ships, this is the kind of pro playing that we'll see winning territory in Star Atlas. You know, we have those guys that will rush to the deep space at the beginning of the first day with their small ships, with their small fleets, and if they don't coordinate, people will get hurt. You know, because no, I don't. I didn't drop anything, Mustache. This is just me theory crafting here.
I wrote
But
it
ship
down. I wrote it
said
down.
something. Yeah.
Bohemian is already making strategies around this, man.
Yeah, man, I need to take care of those guys, Santi. I'm weak. I
Yeah,
drop alpha if I don't pay attention.
yeah.
But yeah, guys, I think this is a very interesting point, and but unfortunately, uh, it's something that there is a time where every good thing ends, you know, and we have 1 hour of theory crafting here, and we have Chip here over here as well. So I'm sure that he's super busy, and I don't know Santi, and I know Chip. What do you guys think? We have a few more minutes, or we
I
can
will
wrap
let
up?
the community decide, to be honest. Like, do you guys have a topic that want to discuss about ships? Shout,
Well,
like,
I
this
wanted
is
to
this is your
point out
moment.
something. Yeah, sorry, Santi. I wanted to point out something since Jose made it clear. Like, I would like Chip have a comment on this subject as well. But I'm pretty sure the working on the physics of the game, like, for example, you would have a different gravity around the big planets, like compared to the free space, or maybe comets. And who knows, maybe we might have black holes somewhere deep in the space as well. But I would like to know if we have
Man.
gravitational waves or gravity effects in the game. Yeah, because for example, I'm pretty sure my Vesus is gonna act differently in a planet atmosphere compared to the red zones in free space, you know?
Chip, if you want to pledge the first amendment, you know, like you don't. It's up to you, buddy.
Or the talking about ship flight performance in atmosphere or in the vicinity of different planet sizes with larger or smaller gravity wells, if we're accounting for that? That's the
Yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
question.
think I yeah, the physics that we're gonna bake into the UE5 installment of the game will likely take those things into account.
Yeah, you guys have your answer.
I have
Yeah,
sort of a
that's
So
consumed
yeah,
theory.
tachyon and neutron accumulation and dark matter will be taken into account, and non-physics too. I guess they're gonna make up some physics. Okay, got it.
Take notes, making strategies right now as we speak. This is good. I
Yeah,
love it.
guys. Yeah, guys. There's so much. Oh man, there's so much hidden in plain sight here in Star Atlas, you know. And
Yeah.
this is what this makes actually, even if we are not with the game yet, but this also makes it very entertaining to look into stuff and try to, you know, link the dots. And this
Oh,
is something that I
just
love
one
doing.
question.
Mm.
Yeah, just because it's trending right now, I need to ask this: are we gonna have any time travel?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't think. Well, maybe Chip knows, but I don't think this has been. Like, I love the seek for the alpha, you know. But
Santi, ship
yeah,
won't come back here if we
yeah,
start.
Chip won't kick back.
Yes,
this
I
love
maybe, and I understand.
Depends on what you mean by time travel.
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh, he's a smart guy. He doesn't give away all his info.
yeah, I love it.
Man, there's a
I
reason
understand.
it was
I
hired
understand the
for Star
answer.
Atlas, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chip
it
was
says,
hiding.
yeah, don't dig further.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
it is
I
possible.
have a
That it is
difficult one
possible.
for you, Chip. I
Well,
have
I
a
mean,
difficult one.
like I guess I'll feed you more since it seems like I'm skirting answers. Yeah, like we're playing with ideas surrounding time dilation, but I wouldn't necessarily think people are going to be hopping through time like a time traveler in classic sci-fi. So
Man, this is out.
I
Yeah,
guess
this is alpha.
you're looking at it as a time dilation, right?
So
Because
he
maybe
means
using
like he can.
a wormhole, and you don't spend a day to travel. You can instantaneously appear. So you it's kind of what a faking time travel, really.
yeah, that would check out. Not necessarily just hopping in a time machine and going back 1,000 years. Nothing like that.
Got it. Got it.
But
Okay.
but we can travel back 10 seconds in time in order to prevent the ship from being destroyed or taking damage. That could be some rare, I don't know, abilities and
For
such shit.
Tauri module, 10-second time travel.
I think that ship won't go into this kind of dynamics, because yeah,
Yeah,
this is
it's
all
probably
very
far
far in
away.
the future. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
this is some
I
food
think
for your
that would.
thought.
I think going back in time and reversing gameplay would break the game. So
Yeah.
I would assume time goes one direction in our game at this point.
Oh man, this is awesome.
yeah.
So that excludes
Chip, I have a
universes. It's only going
difficult
to be
one for you,
one
Chip.
star atlas.
Before you get more alpha for us, I have a difficult one for you, Chip. Do you have a favorite ship already? Now that we are speaking about ships, I'm throwing this to you, man. I'm
First
putting you on
person
the
to put
spot.
first person to put my my favorite ship in Atlas Brew wins. Yeah, okay, somebody already did.
It's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. First person
It's the
to put
transport
ship.
ship. It's the transport ship. Where's my prize?
Whoever won, Santi, can you give them points or whatever it is you
Yeah,
do?
we can give them XP. We can give them XP. Put in the
Yeah.
Atlas Brew chat
But
which
it is
ship
no
you
that
think
I
is
think
ship's
It's
favorite.
already been
I think
answered,
Des
Santi.
already
We
won. It's
mentioned it
Diom.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, Des won. It's Diom.
It's Dion. Okay.
It's the on. Curious choice.
Curious choice. Yeah, curious choice.
What can I say? I like cheese.
Awesome. So yeah,
Um,
Santi, I has this episode was full
yeah,
of interesting information, informative
yeah,
information.
yeah. I loved your crafting, Jose, man. I wouldn't be able to host this without you. Actually,
Oh
you
man, we
are
are
the brew
together.
itself, man. You are the Atlas brew itself. If the
Oh
Atlas brew
man,
was a person, it will be Jose, man.
no man, we are together here. Everyone here collaborates, and this is a lot of fun to do this.
Yeah. So yeah, let's
I
officially
gotta.
end it.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Somebody had something to add.
I
If
did.
it's
I
not,
had a question. If it's not too late.
I've got one for Chipto too.
no, don't ask for alpha for Chip. Chip is joining as a friend here. He won't come back again. He won't
If
come
we,
back again.
as
Yeah,
possible.
Thank you.
well,
I appreciate
I
you.
just spread them out because
yeah.
it's been crazy busy lately.
Yeah, man.
Elvis has left the
We're really
building.
happy that we have you here, man.
Yeah,
We're
man,
really
it's a
happy that
pleasure.
we have you here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
likewise.
appreciate
Glad I
you.
could join.
yeah, man. So yeah, no, let's end it here. I know that Chip is super busy. We are as well, and I encourage anyone, as always, to stay in the voice chat if you want. The conversation will probably continue, but this is the official end of the Atlas Brew number 10. I'm really, 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 really happy that you all joined us to Theorycraft about ships today. I love hosting together with you, Jose. Man, you're the man. You're the man.
So it's a pleasure, Santi.
And yeah, apparently we have a town hall on Friday. Posting the announcement soon. So make sure to save the date, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. It was amazing.